Welcome back to Pitch Zone, your fast-paced digest of the biggest stories from the Premier League, La Liga, Serie A, League One, Bundesliga, and the Turkish Super League. Let's dive into the action. Welcome back to Pitch Zone, your fast-paced digest of the biggest stories from the Premier League, La Liga, Serie A, League One, Bundesliga, and the Turkish Super League. Let's dive into the action. In Premier League, Bruno Fernandes' Manchester United teammates fear the Portuguese has had enough of the turmoil going on at Old Trafford and will quit the Red Devils for pastures new after the World Cup this summer. The 31-year-old previously claimed he was hurt and sad that the club were willing to sell him last year, and teammates reportedly would not blame him if he were to move on at the end of the season. Reported by The Sun. Teammates believe that Fernandes will depart Old Trafford in 2026 and put an end to a 7-year stay with the Red Devils amidst a belief that he has had enough of the shambles at Old Trafford. The 31-year-old Portuguese has been United's best player ever since he joined the club in January 2020, and his current deal ends in June 2027. Meaning that this summer represents one of the club's final opportunities to sell the playmaker and make a return on the initial £47 million, $62.9 million, they paid Sporting Lisbon for his services. The United skipper admitted in November that former boss Ruben Amorim persuaded him to stay last summer despite the club's wishes for him to go. With Amorim now sacked and a new cloud of uncertainty hanging over the club's managerial situation, Fernandes is reportedly ready to call it a day at Old Trafford and move on to pastures new. According to sources, a source told The Sun, some of the squad think Bruno has had enough and, to be honest, they don't blame him. He always gives 100% and has been the club's best player since he joined. But they think that he feels let down under the new ownership model, and Amorim leaving has not helped. He isn't a likely candidate for a big money move to Saudi because he's a football purist. But no one can doubt from the moment he signed for Manchester United, he has given his all. No one wants him to leave, but his teammates would understand if he did. On the other hand, Tottenham are closing in on the signing of Sousa from Santos as beleaguered boss Thomas Frank seeks January reinforcements. The North London club have endured a dismal season thus far but are attempting to reinforce their backline in the winter window. Spurs are, per Fabrizio Romano, closing in on the signing of Sousa from Santos. The two sides have agreed a deal worth around €15 million, £13 million, and have reached an agreement over personal terms. And he is now set to become the club's first signing of the January window. Spurs have endured a dismal season and currently sit 14th in the Premier League table, leading to speculation over the future of manager Thomas Frank. However, he is now attempting to provide depth in defense. And the signing of Sousa will allow Jed Spence to compete with Pedro Porro at right back. With Destiny Udogie now gaining a specialist backup, Spence had previously worked at left back, despite being right-footed. South American football expert Tim Vickery has given context to Spurs' pursuit, explaining that Sousa is already on the radar of Carlo Ancelotti for Brazil's squad at the 2026 World Cup in the summer. He told Sky Sports, "He is very impressive. He is a 19-year-old left-back, very physically strong. Great footballer and very versatile. He defends well and attacks well. Can go on the outside and can also cut in on the inside. He has had a difficult debut season, playing for Santos in a relegation battle, and they only just avoided relegation. Santos, on the one hand, you have the tradition of Pelé and the greatest club side in the world at one point, but on the other side they represent a small city. The fans are so demanding. For him to come through, fighting relegation, and doing very well, it speaks volumes. He is already on the radar of Carlo Ancelotti for the Brazil team. Aston Villa are on the verge of club-to-club agreement for Conor Gallagher. Negotiations are at final stages with Atletico Madrid, loan with buy option clause to eventually becoming mandatory. Watford and Eduardo Bove. Deals set to be sealed with final details being sorted this weekend. The Italian midfielder will join Hornets next week, as verbal agreement is in place. In Spain, things are starting to pick up speed in Barcelona. Barcelona already informed Marcus Rashford and his camp about desire to keep him beyond this season. No guarantee yet on €30 million buy option to be activated, final decision later plus based also on financial situation, but Barca very happy with Rashi. Barcelona are planning to get new deal agreed with Andreas Christensen for one more season. Talks will continue in the next weeks over financial agreement. Also Barca are keen to bring in a centre-back, preferably one that is left-footed and probably not until the summer. And have Tottenham Hotspur star Mickey van de Ven on their shortlist, according to Sport. Van de Ven, 24, has a contract until 2029, so his transfer wouldn't come cheap. But the Netherlands international is reportedly keen to leave the club this summer. Other options who have been linked with Barcelona include Nico Schlotterbeck, Alessandro Bottoni, and Marc Guéhi, though the latter is right-footed. Departures continue to plague the Catalan team. Marc-André ter Stegen could close his Barcelona chapter this month as the German goalkeeper looks to secure a move away from the La Liga's leaders. The player has fallen out of favor at the club under the management of fellow countryman Hansi Flick and is below Joan Garcia and Wojciech Szczesny in the pecking order. Between the sticks. Yet could find a way to kickstart his career elsewhere in Spain. Ter Stegen has been all but frozen out of the club he joined in 2014 and has made 291 La Liga appearances for. The goalkeeper was once so trustworthy in the net and won the Champions League with the club in his debut season, but has since allowed errors and complacency to creep into his game, with injuries also taking a toll on his consistency. The club, under the stewardship of Flick, have moved away from the German international and made a move for Garcia in the summer to be their number one. Szczesny has also been selected ahead of ter Stegen in the past despite having taken the decision to retire a few years ago before making a comeback in October 2024. When Barcelona made him an offer. Now, with his career in purgatory, ter Stegen is open to leaving the club and getting his spot back in the national team. According to Sport, the German is open to accepting a move to Girona and would want to make the switch this month. The goalkeeper is reportedly determined to find his way back into Julian Nagelsmann's World Cup plans and sees 6 months at the Estadi Montilivi as a potential option to achieve that. FC Barcelona win their 16th Spanish Super Cup. FC Barcelona have taken their second Spanish Super Cup title in a row in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, after a 3-2 win over Real Madrid in the final. In Italy, AS Roma, pushing on both Robinho Vaz and Daniel Malin, deals with OM and Aston Villa. Club-to-club agreements on the way. €25 million package for Vaz, loan with buy option for Malin. Talks still ongoing on players' sides over personal terms. AS Roma director Ricky Massara on Jack Raspadori deal, we are in advanced talks. It could be decided in next 24h. This deal will have its final verdict soon. On the other hand, Lazio confirmed Kenneth Taylor as new signing from Ajax for €17 million package. Here Taylor with agent Guido Albers and intermediaries Gabriel Giuffrida and Eduardo Colombo. Taylor's set to wear shirt number 24. In France, Ballon d'Or winner Ousmane Dembélé is set to reject Paris Saint-Germain's contract extension offer, as per Food Mercato. Despite being offered a new deal which would see him earn €30 million per year, the forward is holding out for double that amount. Dembélé, 28, is entering the final 2 years of his current PSG contract this summer, which may draw the attention of clubs around Europe. In other Paris club, Paris FC are among clubs keen on signing Mathys Tel on loan this month, several approaches already. Tottenham insists they want Tell to stay. Matthews wants to play regularly as dreams of World Cup call. In Turkey, Galatasaray are not working on deal for Tun Koopmeiners despite reports. No negotiations plus midfielder not actively looking for a move, fully focused on Juventus. Can Armando Gunnar, whom Galatasaray brought to Istanbul and reached an agreement with, will return to Germany today due to pressure from his club and the possibility of them filing a complaint against the player. After that, Can Armando Gunnar's representative has arrived in Istanbul to meet with Fenerbahce. Rennes has submitted a verbal offer to Fenerbahce for Sebastian Szymanski. In Black Eagles, Besiktas's €2 million rental plus €10 million purchase option offer for Agbadou was rejected. Wolves do not want to loan Agbadou. A proposal with a mandatory purchase option may be viewed favorably. Also, Besiktas is keeping Piton waiting. The priority is Tavares, but Lazio is definitely not budging on a discount. They want €15 million. The agents are also confusing the player's mind. We'll bring this much of an offer, we'll bring that much of an offer, they say. On the other hand, Aston Villa are interested in bringing Tammy Abraham back to Premier League this month. Even after Brian Maggio deal, Villa want one more striker if there's a good opportunity available. Initial talks took place to ask about Tammy, as the Telegraph reported. In Turkey Super Cup, Fenerbahçe's new signing, Gündüz'i, attracted all the attention by scoring a goal in the Galatasaray derby. Fenerbahçe won the Turkcell Super Cup final against Galatasaray 2-0 at the Ataturk Olympic Stadium. Gündüz'i and Osterwolde found the net for the yellow-blue team. Gündüz'i's goal and performance in his first match for the yellow-blue team, shortly after signing, received widespread attention in the European press. That's all for today's football updates. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more transfer news and football stories here on Pitch Zone.